Have you ever been afraid to continue a painting because it's just so perfect where it is? That's the story of my painting this week, and I am left with an open-ended question about the program that I'm taking and that I could really use your help with. And then also, I want to talk a little bit about how I'm feeling about the Milan Art Mastery program now. So, here we are jumping into this painting this month, which was layering acrylic, well, oil over top of acrylic. So oil and acrylic in the same painting, beginning really the transition into the multimedia portion of the Milan Art Mastery program. All right, voiceover Donna here. So we have two things going on. We are working on the first layer where I'm just taking acrylic paint, thinning it out very thinly, and putting in washes of color to get the background and start establishing my lights and darks in washes of color. The other thing going on is that I kind of forgot that I was filming and I'm completely standing in the way of the camera. So it does get better. I get a little more self-aware as we go on and I move the painting in back into position where you can see everything that's happening. But right here in the beginning, I am just using the subtractive method that we've been seeing all the time, where you put a wash of color in and then pull out the highlights, and then adding darks in additional washes and just building the first layer of the painting. So far, this is really nothing new in terms of technique. I'm simply starting to build the first layers of an acrylic floral painting. Oh, and you saw me using a stencil there to get some of the lace from the curtains in on the curtains and on the table, and I am really happy with the way that turned out. I am excited about growing my library of stencils so that I can create all of the texture that I want in a painting fast and easy like this. I did not like any of the sources that they offered in this lesson, and my accountability partner couldn't even choose one for me. They all left us feeling flat. So I went out in search of a reference that I was excited to paint, and I came across this one from a group that I belong to on Facebook, Free Reference Photos for Artists. I reached out to the original photographer and made sure I could use the reference photo in the video, so we're good here. And I was very excited to paint this. And excited for a couple of reasons. One, I like the way the photograph makes me feel. The soft light, the happy florals, it just makes me smile. And I feel like I'm halfway there with the painting if my reference photo is making me smile. The second thing I was excited about is exactly the technique that you're watching, these first layers of acrylic, which I chose to do almost in a watercolor inspired fashion. I watered my acrylics down till they were very thin, transparent washes, and just started building the background, getting that light and the lace curtains and the table in through these washes in the background. And it was so much fun. But then I got to the middle stage. So, with this technique, you spend a couple of hours getting basically the whole painting in acrylics. You paint in the subject and the background, you paint in the lights and the darks. You get what looks like a nearly completed painting. And then the idea is to come over some of the focal point and areas with oils to move the abstract painting into something that has some realistic elements to it. So this was a Dimitra Milan lesson, and like all of the lessons in the new program, you just get to watch them paint the whole painting, which is delightful. However, Dimitra is really, I'm beginning to think this is a problem with all artists in that they aren't very left-brained, so they're not exactly teaching you what how they're making decisions. They're just showing you the result of the decisions that they're making. So in that transition moment, When she's done painting the acrylics and she's about to go into oils, Dimitra makes the statement that I'm just going to paint about 60% of this painting with oil, which immediately has me asking about 600 questions. How does she choose which 60% to paint? What is she looking for? How is she making that decision? Is she glazing over the whole thing? Because I distinctly remember Ellie, her mother, also an instructor, saying that you always want to cover the whole painting with oil because of the richness that oil brings and the additional movement that oil paint has that helps the cools recede and the warms come forward. So she seemed very clear in previous lessons that you always want to cover your painting with oil when you go into the oil stage. However, Dimitra said she was only doing 60%, but she never said how she was making those choices. So I'm really left wondering, and if you can help me in the comments, let me know why you might want to leave part of a painting without oil over it rather than glazing over the whole thing, which is what I wound up essentially doing with this painting. I took very, very light glazes and used them in the background of this painting just so that everything was touched with oil. And maybe it doesn't matter because of the acrylic layer, the not the acrylic, the varnish layer that you put on top of it. So, except I don't know. I'm making things up because I don't know and was never told. And it is always a bad idea for me to have unsatisfied curiosity. So those questions give me lots of pause. But the real pause in this painting came when I looked at it in the acrylic stage and I thought, not, oh, this is going really well or I like this, but I am in love with this painting. Just absolutely in love. So I did what I had to do in that moment, which is capture it and share it in that state because I was about to go in with oil and who knows if I was going to ruin it. I'm pausing here on this assignment. I am between the acrylic layer and the oil layer. And I just am in love with this painting. I think it's turning out really, really nicely. I love how loose and drippy it is. I love all of the abstract parts of it. Every time I put my brush to the canvas now, though, I live in fear that I'm going to ruin it. And I just had to stop and ask, can you relate? All right, so here I go. I'm about to finish this painting off with a layer of oils to try to make some of those flowers look realistic. I do think there was some magic in this early layer that is less present in the final painting because I was just so enamored with it in that moment. However, the light is still there. And as I began to add oils and make more refinements in the flowers and play with the lights and shadows in the flowers, my heart was singing. I had so much fun with this painting and with this technique. Has this ever happened to you? Where your painting is going so well that you'd rather leave it unfinished than continue forward and ruin it? That seems like it's a feeling I've had before, although I can't think of a specific instance. But I also feel like I've heard that from other artists, where they like the progress so much they're afraid to finish it. They're afraid to push it a little further. My solution to that fear was to take the photo, to capture and preserve the moment so that I could find the courage to continue. At least I know that I have a photograph of it the way it is in that exact moment when I feel in love with it. So thinking about this issue of the 60% rule, and I'm starting to realize that I'm making these distinctions in the program now that I didn't hear in the previous version of the program. So I've already talked about how previously Ellie would say you never mix warms and cools, which I didn't quite understand or agree with. And then later on, she came in and said, okay, now sometimes you mix warm and cools for some transitions. If something is not in the background and not in the foreground, but in the midground, you might want a midground version of that color. And I get to thinking this is just a little bit like the way you learn things when you're growing up, where you learn kind of the big rule and maybe the most common exception, and then a little bit later you learn some nuances to that rule. And then it starts to seem like the rule isn't a rule at all because of all the nuances and changes where that rule doesn't apply. Let me give you a concrete example. We've all heard I before E except after C. We hear that all the time. And then at some point, I heard another part to that rhyme where it's I before E except after C unless sounding like A as in neighbor and way. Okay, here are some exceptions. And now it's I before E except after C or unless it sounds like A or okay, now there's this word weird. How does this word weird fall into the rules? It's a complete exception to the rule. It's not that the rule wasn't good in the first place. It was great for understanding a basic principle, as in more often than not, this will be the case. And I feel that's the nuance that I'm starting to pick up within this training, is the rule is you always cover an acrylic painting with oil if you're going to go in oils, but then the exception might be except when, and there's the problem that I have because I don't know what the whens are. I know here's an example where they used it, but I need the except after C version of the rule to understand the lesson that I was watching. And my left brain never got that. I don't know how to apply that rule. I just know that one instructor said you always use oil, and another instructor said she was only going to use it 60% of the time. That's it. I don't know why she wouldn't just paint oil on the whole thing. And if oil makes a painting more luxurious, I really don't know why she wouldn't paint it across the entire canvas. So if you know, I would love it if you would give me some insight to that into the comments. If you understand or you've heard them explain it, or you in your own practice have a different practice. If you can help me with some of the reasons why, that would be really greatly appreciated. Which brings me to where I am with this whole Milan Art program. And I think my main issue with the course is the name of it, is that it's called the Mastery course. And my expectations for something called Mastery are very, very high. I expect to know everything so that I can master a skill. But really, this program is much more like going to one of these big Vegas-style international buffets we have here. It's full of loads of different cuisines. Maybe you've never tried it, and you don't want to go try your very first taste of pad thai, realize that you absolutely love pad thai, and dive into the dish and wallow around and stay in that pad thai for your whole meal. You're being presented with a buffet, and there might be something more delicious to try in the very next table over, and that is true of the Milan program as well. Some dishes I may never order again. I'm looking at you, Black on Black Raven. But other dishes, this one in particular, playing with translucent layers in an attempt to capture the light, that is a technique that I want to have the full meal of. I want to dig into that technique again. And I think the whole Milan program is really just about a buffet. Instead of mastery, It should be called the Milan Art Buffet because I'm taking tastes of different techniques, different strategies, and different ways of approaching a subject. And I can choose whether or not I want to eat that meal again and whether I want to specialize in that cuisine. And I'm starting to think about it that way and feeling more empowered to move on when something is working and less like I've got to get this before I can move on. And more excited about just going to the next lesson to see the next meal that I want to try when I'm ready to try a full meal again. So I call this painting The Shape of Light because that's what I was really focusing on when I was creating it. I love the way the light comes in the window and plays through the petals of the flowers and around the vase and on the shadows on the table, and the shadow of the lace as it falls on the table were all just beautiful little bits that I kept trying to capture during the time that I was creating this painting. And the purpose is combining oil over top of acrylics. It is to speed up the painting, which is an important technique for a working artist. But I walked away with so much more than this technique. I walked away with a pull to explore the topic of sunlight. Because I was thinking about this landscape that I did, the one that's right here, through the palms. And it was the sunlight there that captivated me about that source. I loved the position of the sun and the way it played on the clouds and the silvery light that it brings to the painting. I have always joked about being personally solar powered because I feel so much more energy in the summer than I do in the winter time. And I love the long days and I love the sunlight and being in the sun. Now I'm starting to think that maybe painting the sun is the direction that I want to go in because I am certainly captivated by the light. If you like The Shape of Light, it is now available in my shop, and here's a QR code for you. And with that, I'm Donna Fox. I'm on a journey to go from hobbyist to professional artist. I'm sharing every step of the way with you here on YouTube, and this week was a great one. I hope you enjoyed this painting as much as I did. See you next week. Also, is this a mixed media piece or is it an oil painting since it's oil over acrylic? I'm just not sure, number one, what the standard is, what qualifies technically as mixed media, and number two, whether it is more marketable as a mixed media painting or as an oil painting. Whichever one sounds better, that's what this is.